All right, here we go. This is an unprecedented video number 4, and we're going to try and squeeze both station 3 and station 4 into it. And if you hear any weird noises, that's my dog Bailey. She's chewing on things and hanging out with me today. Okay, so station number 3, we have Scott runs 1.5 miles. Eddie runs 3.5 times as far as Scott, which means he goes further, right? And Julie runs 3/4 as far as Eddie. So not as far as Eddie. How far does Julie run? So we're going to start with an estimate. Scott is about 1 and Eddie is about 3 times that. So 1 times 3, and then she's 3/4 of that. So times 1 again. So about 3 miles, we're going to guess that Julie's going to run, or estimate that Julie's going to run. So let's find out exactly how far. Well, we know that Eddie is 3.5 times, 1, 2, 3.5 times as far as Scott. So 1.5 times Scott times Eddie, right? 1.5 is Scott, and 3.5 times that is Eddie. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, so that's 3/2 times 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7, that's 7/2. I like to make my mixed numbers into improper fractions to multiply them. You can also break them apart and multiply them by parts, but this is a little bit faster and takes up less space. So 3 times 7 is 21, 2 times 2 is 4, so that's 21/4, which is also 5 1/4, right? So that's Eddie, 5 1/4 miles. Now, Julie, that's her name, is 3/4 of that. So we just need to do 3/4 of 5 1/4, right? Remember, multiplying also means of. So I'm going to make this 5 times 4 is 20, 21/4, just like we had back up here. Sometimes we don't need to change our improper fractions to mixed numbers, right? If we leave them there, as you'll see in the next problem, it can sometimes be helpful too. Okay, so 21 times 3, if you don't know it offhand, you can do it on the side like that. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, that's 63, and 4 times 4 is 16. So that's 63/16. Now, of course, we do need to make that into a mixed number so that we have, like, you're not going to say she ran 63/16 of a mile. So we're going to take 63, we're going to divide it by 16. Well, my estimate is 3, right? So I could think about 3. What is 16 times 3? 6 times 3 is 18. 3, 48. Okay, what's 16 times 4? 6 times 4 is 24. 4, 5, 6. 64, a little too big, so I am going to go with my 3, which is 48. Divide, multiply, subtract. 13 minus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is 5. 5 minus 1, 15. So now I have 3 15/16. And that is how far Julie ran. And of course, we need to write a quick sentence. Julie ran 3 15/16 miles. And that is station 3. Let's jump into station 4. This is the hardest one. They are in order of difficulty. A glass company makes 12 windows that measure 4 3/4 feet long by 3 1/3 feet long, and 7 windows that measure 2 4/5 feet long by 5 feet long. So it's 12 windows and 7 windows. So I did a little graphic down here, 12 windows measuring this, 7 windows measuring this. How many square feet of glass does the company need for the windows? It took me a while to think about this. What they mean is, if you have windows that are 1 foot by 1 foot, right? And that's a square foot. How many of those do you need? All right, kind of makes sense. So 4 3/4 times 3 1/3. I went ahead and already changed them to improper fractions. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 3 is 19/4. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10/3. Multiplying straight across, 190/12. And guess what? I have 12 of those, right? So if I take 190/12 times 12 over 1, you can cross out these 12s because they're going to cross each other out. Only when they're diagonally across from each other. So then that will like turn this into a 1. So now we have 190. So 190 feet, right? 190 feet squared because they're square feet, right? Like area of the windows. Okay, now this one is 2 4/5 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 4 is 14. 14/5 times 5. Look at that. Again, we have our crossing out across the diagonal. So then that would be 14 square feet, right? And then there's 7 of them. So 14 times 7 is 28. 7, 8, 9, 98. So this one is 98 square feet, and this one is 190 square feet. We're going to add them together because the question is, how many square feet of glass does the company need for all of the windows? 8, 9 and 9 is 18. 288 square feet for all of the windows. The company needs 288 square feet. Okay, remember, if you're confused or if there's a lot, I didn't even mention that I put the estimate up here because estimates are so helpful. See, 285, right? I just took 12 times 5 times 3, right? We just dropped off the other things. And 7 times 3 times 5. I rounded these up. You can see, you can do it either way, but that would probably be a little bit more accurate. You can always pause me and look at the math if you need a little bit more time. But I wanted to make this video short and sweet since it is video number 4 of lesson 15. Thanks for watching. Aloha.